everyone. Welcome back to the Seeds of Success podcast, where we break down simple, practical ideas to help you grow, whether you're running a business, leading a team, or just trying to get through a very full day a little more effectively. I'm Orly, and I'm joined by someone who knows how to keep things moving without getting overwhelmed, and that's Dottie.
Oh, thanks, Orly. I try. And let me tell you, some days are better than others.
Same here, which is exactly why we have this topic that we're going to talk about today. We're talking about the difference between being busy and being productive, because a lot of us feel busy all day long, but at the end of the day, we're asking, what did I actually get done? I know I personally do that quite a bit. And Dottie probably questions it sometimes too.
Yeah, Orly, this one actually hits home. You can have a day packed with emails, messages, quick questions, small tasks, and you still feel like you didn't move anything forward. Everything just seems to still be parked.
Exactly. And you're constantly doing, but not necessarily progressing.
And environments like bowling and entertainment centers, it's even more intense. There's always something happening. Guests, staff, issues, events. It's nonstop.
Yeah, so it's really easy to confuse activity with productivity. Let's break this down a little bit. What's the difference between being busy and being productive?
Being busy is reacting. You're responding to whatever comes your way. Being productive, however, is intentional. You're focusing on what actually moves things forward.
Yeah, that's such a clear distinction. Busy feels urgent and productive is more, purposeful.
Yes, and urgency can actually trick you into thinking everything is equally important when it's really not.
So why does this happen so often? Why do we get stuck in that spinning feeling?
Well, there's a few big reasons. Number one, we don't prioritize things clearly. And something I'm very guilty of, we say yes to everything. We jump between tasks without finishing them. And we let interruptions take over.
Yeah, a lot of that comes from just trying to be helpful.
Exactly, which is a good thing. But without boundaries, it pulls you away from what really matters the most.
Yeah, let's make this super practical. How do you know if you're stuck in busy mode?
Well, here's a few signs. You end the day feeling absolutely exhausted and not accomplished. You're constantly switching between tasks. You're focused on quick wins instead of important work.
Yeah.
And you just keep pushing bigger tasks to later. Orly, I call this, I feel like a dog chasing my tail sometime. I know you've heard me say that many times, right?
Yeah. That last one there, that's huge. The things that actually move the needle keep getting delayed. All right, so let's fix this. What are some simple ways to shift out of this?
Well, let's keep it simple with actually 3 strategies. The first one is identify your top 1 or 2 priorities for the day.
Okay.
Each day, ask yourself, what are 1 or 2 things that actually matter today? Not 10 things, not everything. I'm really guilty of this, Orly. You know this. Not just the most important thing.
Yeah, because if you get those done, the day's a win. Most definitely. So next, create focus time. This is tough, especially in busy environments, but even small windows will help.
Exactly. Even 20 to 30 minutes of uninterrupted focus can make a huge impact. Close the door, step away, put your out of office, put do not disturb, or delegate temporarily. Protect that time. And number 3, pause. Take a minute before you actually say yes. This is a big one. Before jumping into every request, take a second and ask yourself, does this really align with what I need to accomplish right now?
Yeah, and if it's not, it doesn't mean no. It might just mean later. So let's put this into a real scenario. Say you're managing a busy center. You've got walk-ins, a birthday party coming in, staff's asking questions, emails are starting to pile up. How do you stay productive?
Well, it really comes down to focusing on impact. Handling guests and the experience, that definitely is priority.
Yeah.
But maybe emails can wait an hour. Maybe a non-urgent task gets moved to later.
Yeah, so it's not about choosing what matters right now.
Exactly. Not everything needs immediate attention.
All right, next. I think this really comes down to a mindset shift. You don't need to do anything. You need to just do the right things.
Yes, and that can feel uncomfortable at first because being busy feels productive.
Yeah.
But slowing down to actually prioritize things is what actually creates the results.
All right. So we have a challenge for you. And Dottie, I'm going to challenge you for this too, because I think this
Oh
episode,
boy.
like you said, it hits home. So,
Yes, it does.
I'm reading all these things and we're going along and I'm like, this is kind of Dottie. I mean, I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
So, tomorrow, start your day by identifying your top 2 priorities.
Then protect that time to focus on them before the day actually takes over. Even if it's just a small window, it makes a difference. Schedule that time on your calendar. That's what I've started doing. Make yourself priority. At the end of the day, being busy isn't the goal. Being effective is.
Yeah.
And the difference comes from how you choose to spend your time and energy. When you focus on what really matters, set simple priorities and give yourself the space to complete them. That's the key. You stop spinning your wheels and you start making real progress. And that's where growth happens. Listeners, thanks so much for joining us on Seeds of Success today. If this episode sounds like you or made you think about your day a little bit differently, share it with your team or someone who's always on the move. And take that first step towards working smarter, not just harder. We'll see you next time. Keep growing your business, one happy customer and one amazing experience at a time.